Back on the SportsMax Zone, the inaugural season of the Jamaica Premier League climaxes on Saturday with a grand final at the JFF Captain Horsburgh Centre of Excellence, Mona. Kickoff time is 2:30 p.m. with our build-up starting at 2 o'clock on SportsMax. Two teams from the Kingston and St Andrew Football Association, CASAFA, will battle for honours. Waterhouse will be hoping Lady Luck is on their side this year as they contest their third top-flight final in 4 years. The last time Cavalier won the title, 1981, neither George nor Mariah were yet born, and I was fresh out of high school. Joining us to preview this game, along with the third place playoff, Mount Pleasant and Tivoli. They're battling in the third place playoff. Commentator Dewight Jeremiah. Who's the favourite for you, Dwight, going into this final?
I'm going with Waterhouse. And so far they haven't proven me wrong. So, yeah, there's enough for me to think that they have just enough to get past this Cavalier team. But I still think it will not be a runaway thing. It will be a close game.
Yeah. Well, on the strength of Waterhouse's performances this season and the season before that, you would think that their body of work is pretty strong. But when they met this season, it was 2-2 between them. How did you assess that game and how that might play into what happens in this decider?
I think for that game, that was pretty much the turning point for Cavalier. If you look at them after that game, I think their next game was against Dumberhole and they won that one 3-1. It wasn't just the fact that they scored 3 goals and really comprehensively beat Dumberhole. But what was good in it was that I saw at that time, and I remember mentioning it after that a couple of times, that there was more maturity to their play. When they started the season, it was pretty much trying to overrun teams with their youthfulness and play at a very high tempo. But after that game, they pretty much had a more measured approach. Against Waterhouse, it was much open. With them, they took the lead. Waterhouse came back, scored a late penalty in that game to get a draw. But since then, they've been much more solid. It's 360-odd minutes since they conceded a goal. So I think both teams have looked totally different since that time. Waterhouse, too, was giving up a lot of points from winning positions. They too have pretty much measured their approach, and their skipper is much more disciplined in his approach in defending. So I think that game, as it were exciting 2-2, these two teams are a bit different now.
You know, you speak about the two teams being different, and when they match up this weekend, what would separate the winner from the next team? You have already claimed that Waterhouse would win. What would give them that edge?
I think I look at Cavalier and what they have done in recent times to get themselves into the final, and they have been very dogged defensively. We've seen them, they play a 3-4-2-1 system, but in defense there are 5 of them at the back, and sometimes even 6 with the holding midfielder dropping in. And I think though what has happened to that is that they have compensated their goal scoring threat somewhat, because over that 360 minute that they haven't conceded a goal, they have only scored 3 goals. I think it's dangerous to play that deep against a Waterhouse team that has 8 different goal scorers, 3 of which has 4 more goals in them so far this season. So I think in the end, as we'll see, Waterhouse will find a way through. What is worrisome for Waterhouse is how much they will deal with the pace of Cavalier on the break. But I just think Waterhouse has so much going for them attacking wise. They're so slick going forward. I really like watching them.
Yeah, and Dwight, where the exciting golden boot is concerned, Shaquille Bradford, he has 6 goals. That's a 3-way tie so far. Who secures that in your assessment?
Well, you know, 3-way tie, but one guy's out of it now in Aquasa. With Fletcher and Bradford, it's anybody's call, because Fletcher could come into this game that he'll play a 3rd and 4th game and probably get 2 goals in that one, and I expect it to be tight against Cavalier. So very, very close. Could see Fletcher sneaking in, having a good late run on it. But that would mean he gets a double, I feel, in that game, because Bradford pretty much, I think he'll be up for the finals. So just a little edge to Fletcher at the moment.
On paper, Dwight, it has a hors d'oeuvre quality to it, but Tivoli Mount Pleasant is a game that will have some good players. It's for the wooden spoon, the third place. Do you think both teams will be up for it, and who has the edge going in?
Yeah, what you just mentioned about them being up for it, that is going to be critical, George, in terms of the mindset of the players. For a Mount Pleasant team that was pre-season favourite, it just seems like an anticlimax for them coming into this third and fourth playoff. So it's going to be interesting what mindset they come into this one in. They have a coach who is a very professional man, and he'll try and get them to perform in a very good way to represent Mount Pleasant, even though it's a third and fourth playoff. But I think I'm going to give the edge to Mount Pleasant because of the depth and quality and what I've seen from Tivoli over the two legs against Cavalier. I just felt they look like they've run out a little bit of steam, and in terms of ideas to break teams down, just not looking so sharp at this stage. So I feel that Mount Pleasant has the edge. You have a Fletcher in that team who is gunning for the golden boot, who might just be pumped up for it, because a lot has been said about him in the past, not making the transition so well to senior football. He has really done well now. I think he wants to top it off, so it could be a motivated Fletcher in that one. So I think it's Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, and just one more on the final before we go. We're almost out of time. You mentioned the quality of the Waterhouse defence, and the fact is that Cavalier aren't too shabby defending themselves either. Do you expect a highly tactical battle that perhaps ends 1-0 to whomever the winner is, or do you expect fast and free football that could give us a few goals to savour over the course of the final?
The subplots don't suggest that we'll have something free-flowing. You look at a Cavalier in recent times, as I said, last 4 games, 4 clean sheets, and scoring just 3 goals, but very, very tight defensively. I see Woodhouse be pretty much setting up in that way again. And for Waterhouse, knowing that this is their third finals, they're going to want to get over the line, whether or not that's a heavy pressure on them wanting to really make the final step. So I really think it's going to be a tactical battle. And it could be 1 goal in it, just as the semi-finals were, as I'd call them, 2-1, 1-0. Got one team wrong, yes, but yeah, KG, I think to some extent. I think there's a lot riding on both teams.
All right, we'll see you on Saturday, Dwight. All the best to you. Thank you very much. Remember, folks, you can watch the Jamaica Premier League final on SportsMax, and of course you can watch it on the SportsMax app as well. Download that now from the Google Play Store or the App Store. JPL final live on your mobile device. Should be a good game, you know. 2 very, very good teams. Waterhouse fans, make sure you watch. And those who are supporting Cavalier, me sir, yeah, we're going to be watching as well.